Good afternoon. You are now entering Sapo Studios. Frogs and species of all kinds are welcome. Fasten your seatbelt. You are in for quite a ride. Initiating Scratch Track Saturday in 5, 4,
3, 2, 1. Saturdays.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to Sapo Studios Scratch Track Saturdays. You got your boy ASAP Froggy, the one, the only, Bingus Frog.
Not that guy.
Welcome. We are coming to you live from West Hollywood, California.
That's right.
From the art department.
Out at the art department. It's a little bit gloomy today, but that's okay.
A little bit.
It's still beautiful over here at the art department, as it always is.
Also, shout out to Toby Frog for being here today.
Yeah, thanks to Toby Frog, our usually silent partner. I don't know if he's going to stay silent today, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get a word or two out of him. Yeah. But yeah, you know, the gloom is not the only thing that seems to be present in the air. It seems there's a lot of sickness in the air. Easy does it over there, man. Come on, keep your distance with that. But yeah, so the guest we were supposed to have today, Tyler, unfortunately, he is under the weather, and ASAP, you were under the weather for our event, unfortunately.
Yep. Planned all this stuff, tried to make it happen. You know, you and I put a lot of work in. You know, Toby put in work, Mr. A-Bomb put in work, Keith, everyone at the art department. Then I couldn't even see it through, man.
Well, and
it was the morning I woke up for the party, and that was.
And what's so wild about that is, you know, we talked about how you've been like manifesting this idea for so long and been like wanting to do this for so long.
And couldn't be part of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a bummer, but
it was still a very cool night, and you'll definitely be at the next one.
Yes.
Because whether or not you're sick, I'm dragging your ass over here.
Yep. Well, hopefully this time I have some antibodies for some time. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe we could ask, the science guy here, how long do the antibodies last these days?
Your life.
Our life. Ooh, so we're good. We're good here for a minute. The
All
next
right.
100 years or so.
We'll run around naked and we'll be just fine, man. Yeah, so
Speaking of the next party, you know, I heard this band that came back from like the late 60s or 70s that came out with these awesome hits like may perform at the event. They may put the band back. It was called like the Daves or something.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this? I figured it had something to do with that nonsense. ASAP over here has been like desperately trying to get me to start an actual band with him, and you know, he's like, man,
probably for the last 10 years. But,
yeah,
you know,
but particularly
I've spoke
now
to you about it. Yeah,
yeah, and you're just like,
within the last
dude,
10 years,
we've been making the scratch tracks now. We're jamming on the show. We need to be jamming in real life, man. We need to get out there. The Daves need to be performing. I'm like,
as John from John's Guitar, shout out
John's Guitar, my boy.
He said something to me last time I was there. He's saying, you know, like you play the instruments the most that are out, you know, and like I have this bass guitar that's out a lot of the time. I've been picking that up, but like, you know, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like open my cases, like just lay them out on the floor, and maybe I'll like play it more. And that's why you picked up a guitar when you walked in my house the other day, and you kind of halfway jokingly were, you know, toying around, and then like a song like falls out of you, and you have this really cool thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And because it was sitting out, you picked it up, it happened, and I was like, you know what? Let's just record it right now.
Yes. And you know, yes, there was a song that came out of that. I'm not sure the validity of that song, but it's interesting to say the least. Regardless, you're getting way ahead of me, man.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Let's backtrack for a second, okay? Yeah. I know you weren't here, but I want to tell you and everyone else a little bit about the party, a little bit about what went on here at the art department, because it was very cool. We are going to be throwing more events. So we had all sorts of stuff set up. We had a retro gaming station, which took people's attention for a long time. I was wondering, like, hey,
you're sitting at it.
I know, I am sitting at it. Now the mask is playing behind me, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you know, people were up here playing video games. I'm like, I saw a couple of people that I know come in earlier. Where the hell are they? And they're just like so in it up here playing Turtles in
Ninja
Time.
Turtles, yeah.
Oh, you knew. You
I
weren't
saw,
even here.
I saw it on the footage. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
it was
nice.
It was really good.
But yeah, no,
I'm jealous I couldn't play.
the performances were absolutely awesome. It started out with Cheyenne and Cheyenne's guitarist MJ. The two of them gave a chilling performance.
Which was her first show, MJ's first live show, wasn't it? That's what I heard.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was rewatching the footage a few days later when I felt up to sitting upright. But yeah, I thought that was super cool that was her first performance. So I was kind of there a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you were there in spirit.
I got some of the tea.
Yeah,
you know,
a little bit of the tea. But no, I mean, it was very cool, especially starting off the event that way, because it very much felt like this nice way to ease in. It was an intimate, like, VH1 storytellers type performance, and MJ can play guitar. Holy shit. Definitely has proficiency on the strings there.
Yeah,
and
I saw that as well.
It was a really great performance.
Shout out MJ.
Yeah, rolled right from that into the Avant-Gardians, who I fucking love those guys. Just they always bring it, man.
I was gonna say they bring the heat, man.
Yeah, but it's like a whole
bring the
it's like a
fire.
whole thing. It's not just them, press and play on their songs, which they very well could just sing whatever. But they like get into this whole dance thing going on. They bring lights, so the whole place is decked out. This last time they brought these like neon glasses that they were wearing. They looked super dope. And they just bring so much energy. They played some tracks off of their upcoming album, which is very cool. We've talked about this before, but the Avant-Gardians do this awesome thing where each of their albums, as of late anyway, have been specific to a language, not necessarily a language they speak, which is very interesting.
It is very, very interesting.
But yeah, they create like a whole story, and even create fake commercials that wind up playing between the tracks, and they'll hire someone to do those commercials in whatever language the album is in. So this last album they did, Waifu Radio, was entirely in Japanese. A lot of fun, great album. They played a bunch of tracks off of that, but the next album is going to be entirely in Portuguese. So they
super
were
cool. So
dude,
it's gonna be like very dance, like jungle.
Yes,
yeah.
And they were playing some of that, and I was like, oh, dude, this is like awesome dance music. It's unfortunate that it comes as the summer is coming to a close, because it's very much like you just want to be out on the boat in the sun listening to this stuff. But it's a good time, man. It's the new album's going to be great. We rolled from them into DJ Danny Oro, who brought the heat. I've been seeing Danny. He's got all of these videos that he hasn't released yet, but he's been building up all of this footage. He goes down to Tijuana all the time and performs, and he just performs to the largest group of people ever, and it looks like the craziest time. There's just like tequila flowing. They're pouring tequila down people's faces, and people dancing and grinding, and there's sweat and there's smoke, and it looks like craziness. So he brings a whole
Sounds
vibe.
like a good time.
It is a good time, or it looks like a good time. I haven't been there, but he not only did his own set, but he then DJ'd for Guapo, our buddy Guapo, and El Del Flow Gigante, and they brought a tequila bottle that's shaped like a gun. It's this gold-plated tequila bottle, and they were pouring tequila down people's throats as they were dancing and performing and all of that. So that was a whole vibe. The entire band or act group, whatever you want to call them, ensemble, they signed that gun and left it at the art department as a commemorative piece. So that's
cool.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know that was here. We would have used
it's downstairs by the
should have been in
by the DJ station. But yeah, and then we had Doll Machine, who just there are some people that just command the stage when they perform, and Doll Machine, it was such a cool performance. It drew you in to where I was just hypnotized, and she's like such a small framed person, but she was so large in that moment, and it was very cool.
Yeah,
she
seen her
filled
live
the room
one time only, but obviously not here. But yeah, man, she's a
force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, she's a special performer.
And what I thought was very cool about her whole thing going on also was that there's a family that apparently follows her around the country. and is very much like her set of biggest fans. And they show up at as many performances as they can. So the whole family was here. There was like
That's
4 of them.
awesome.
It was very cool. Yeah, and they like are, you know, just always supporting her and stuff, and they came in and it stayed for the whole event, and that was
Then I would
very
imagine
cool.
that they're probably at Burning Man with them right now.
Probably.
They're both performing at Burning Man.
Yeah.
Which
and when you say both, then we closed out with Robot Sunrise, which yes, I know. Dave's saying yes because he looked back at the footage, and I butchered Robot Sunrise's name so many times.
And it was
like an asshole.
It was back to back. It's really good.
No, it's really bad. He like corrected me, and then I still said it wrong again.
Oh,
It's like,
what's that comedian's name? I did that to a comedian when I worked at a restaurant.
yeah, I don't know. That's very inside.
Yeah.
But but yeah, no, that not only was Robot Sunrise's performance awesome, but to use my favorite word, awesome, as I outlined on the last show.
Shout out Papa Bingus if you're listening.
Yeah, but Robot was so magnanimous with his time, with his equipment.
Nice. That's a
Good word.
Good update to your word vocabulary
Hey,
there,
thanks,
man.
I try.
Yeah, we just have to have a super cut of you saying awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I can't wait. Let's get some of the other edits out first, yeah? But yeah, no, Robot was so kind to not only bring all of that equipment, but to essentially run sound for all of the performers. He did sound tests with all of them before the show. He made sure that they sounded good throughout. So I can't thank him enough. And his performance, too, you know, the same kind of thing. The two of them make such a great couple,
Super
Doll and
talented.
Robot.
So
They're so
talented.
talented, and he too commanded the stage in such a way that like I want to go to some more Robot and Doll shows. I want to follow them and see what's up, because it was definitely a vibe. Very cool stuff. So
I enjoyed watching the footage back, which, you know, we'll have some performances put up as
Yep,
well.
yep. So yeah, I can't wait for all of you to kind of see what was going on there. We have some. I did some pre-interviews and post-interviews with some of the performers, so you'll get to see some of those. I see you smirking over there. He's like, "Yeah, we'll get to see the ones that are coherent."
No, they're also good, man.
Okay,
You know,
here's
stress,
here's
you know.
what happened. Here's the tea,
There's
guys.
stress,
all right,
you know.
it was
Stress in the world.
It was a big day. Dave was home. ASAP here was home with COVID, and I'm like, all right, I gotta strap in, lock down, and figure this thing out. So Abam and his wife, Tarantula Falcon, as she's called, came to help out, and we're running around. And I had breakfast, but that was all I got to eat that day. So then I'm like, you know, shout out to one of our brand partners, Talago. Shout out to Spirit Punks Alcohol.
That was your lunch.
Yeah.
That was
So
your lunch
my
and
lunch
your
and dinner were Talago cans, and wound up getting a little tipsy by the end of the show. Probably the reason that I fucked
because
up.
of this tower of Talago behind me.
Yeah, probably the reason I screwed up Robot's name so much.
Oh, it's so good. There's also going to be a super cut of that.
Oh,
interspersed
great.
Somewhere in this footage.
But yeah,
add it.
so you know the pre and post interviews started off very coherent, and I thought it still ended fine. But
No, it's good.
ASAP was watching the
hey.
footage. He's like, "Yeah, man, maybe we don't use this clip."
I'm just saying, I like, you know, I could tell you're a little tipsy, but you know, that's,
I feel like that's just because you know me, because I showed it to my folks,
And
and
that's
Papa
kinda-
Bingus was like, "No, man, this is a good clip."
And Papa Bingus is in the audience with his proper
Oh, is he?
Frogland PFP. His
Hey,
proper
let's
name,
go.
Papa Bingus.
He reached out to me. He's like, "David, I need to change my profile picture to
No,
my
it's so-
frog."
it's-
I
I
was like, we're gonna make that happen.
yeah. I thought he was gonna say he needs to get rid of it. I'm like, man,
No,
you're killing
God,
it
no.
right now.
God no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the event was a lot of fun. I do feel bad that you missed it, but we're gonna have plenty more. They're only gonna get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Thank you to
some
everyone
marketing.
that performed, but also very much thank you to everyone that showed up. Very cool to see people come out and show that support, and we can't wait to throw some more events. It's gonna be great. A lot of fun things happening over here at the art department. I want to thank the art department for hosting the event essentially in their space and allowing us to utilize the space, which is very cool. And beyond just the art department, Keith, who has just been our guiding,
great human,
our guiding light throughout this whole venture so far. And Keith Botha is a great man. So thank you, Keith. Keith's over at Burning Man now, or that was the plan. He got caught up in some of the wetness. It's Soaking Man, apparently, is what he's calling it, because it's like a mud pile and it's pretty rained out.
Well, I hope he gets a chance to see Robot Sunrise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me too.
If he happens to just be stumbling around the desert and be like, wait, I know that guy.
But that's pretty cool that Keith, Robot, and Doll are all out there.
Yeah. They're sharing an energy right now.
Definitely.
Maybe we should go.
Yeah,
Cut to us in the car.
Yeah, no, I've thought about going to Burning Man. I just
Dan will be,
Dan's shaking his head.
Dan will
No.
be filming.
You know, I don't know. It's
filming.
like it looks really cool, but it also looks like I don't know if I want to be just in the middle of the desert for several days.
It'll be a great documentary moment for us.
Yeah, something will happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's a little recap of what happened there at the party, and again, thank you to Keith and the art department for helping to facilitate that.
Shout out to Cookies as well for they helped us with a giveaway,
right?
Which was super cool.
Yes.
I watched that, and that ended up being a cool number.
Yes,
from
so
the drawing.
Thank you
like
for
number 69 or something.
Yes,
like
thank
that.
you for reminding me. Yeah. And when I called out the raffle number, the girl that won, she goes, "Is this a joke? 69?" And I was like, "It just so happened to be that ticket."
You just want an ounce of weed.
Yeah, but Cookies,
Sponsored by Cookies Brand.
donated an ounce of some delicious indica, as I kept calling it on the tape, and she was very excited to receive that, as would I be. And
that's cool, man. You go to an event, you meet some new people, you win a raffle, you go home with an ounce of weed.
Well,
that's not a bad deal, people.
She actually, I spoke to her later. She came here on a date. This was someone that just kind of showed up to this event, and she was saying like it was the coolest date. They came upstairs, played some video games, wrote on the walls downstairs, listened to some music, got an ounce of weed, ate some frog cookies.
Yeah, that's not a bad
That's a pretty good date.
Yeah.
So they had a great time.
It's a little different.
Very different.
It's good. That's what we're trying to do, provide unique experiences for people and have them meet and experience new musicians, man, as well as new art that is beautifully displayed on the walls and televisions here at the art department. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about getting to come here all the time is that it's always a new space, right?
Yeah,
so like
it feels different every single time we come in here.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
As I'm sure like you guys will see from the videos, like the setup never looks the same.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. Like,
I mean, there's 3 floors to this place, which gives us a bunch of variety in terms of what we're able to do. But even beyond the 3 floors, it's like every one of those floors is constantly changing aesthetic, and they're all from like these really great artists.
Yeah.
So it's a whole vibe.
We are lucky and blessed to be able to broadcast to you all from here.
Definitely. But what I want to get into right now is what you've been up to with these guitars. So
just one. I was bored.
And you thought about moving to the other room. We'll talk about that. But let's start with this bass here. So
yeah, I mean, I've had the thought for quite some time. I've had my eye on like custom Fender shop relict aged guitars, but they're way too expensive. And
I'm trying to get a hold of my poor finances because I'm not the best with like budgeting my money and stuff. And ASAP's always oh yeah, shut up. I know you know. ASAP's always calling me. He's like, dude, I want this guitar. I need to get this guitar. And I'm like, you're talking to the wrong person because I should not be giving you any advice with respect to that.
No,
stuff.
I have a problem.
But, yeah, you do.
But Fender does have a little sale going on right now, and there's some pretty
let's go.
And then my thought is like even if you buy a cheap guitar, if you get a good setup on it, shout out John's Guitar and Repair. Like I even sent it to him. I was like, dude, would this sound like shit, or could you make it sound like halfway? He was like, no, like it's just that they don't get as much time spent into the build of them and like some of the materials, but like there's similar to that.
That's kind of interesting what you were telling me. I didn't
the Fender over there.
I didn't ever know about that, but just to expand on that a little, what ASAP is talking about is some of these guitars from companies like Fender, who are huge companies, make some of the most iconic and best guitars out there. Jimi Hendrix played a Fender. A lot of the major artists play those guitars.
Yeah, there's other great guitars.
Sure.
Just like classic builds, like, you know.
But companies
inspired.
like that will release guitars for like $200, $300, $400 that are affordable, and you're like, okay, is this even a good guitar? And what ASAP was telling me is that it's all like the same materials essentially, but they just spend more time making sure that all of the specifications are to a T correct. Everything sounds perfect with the more expensive guitars,
like the intonation, you know, like
right.
the bridge height, you know, all of these little tiny aspects
tension on the strings
that has
and all
to be
that.
like tweaked. And like, depending on how you play, depending on how you want it to sound, like, I don't know how to do that, but like, I'm glad I found somebody who was like, you know, if you want to make any tweaks to your instruments and like show me how you play, he can do like custom setup.
Right, which
is super cool.
Which is super cool, and that's kind of the point that I was getting at, is that you can buy one of these cheaper guitars and then have someone like John work on it and fine tune all of those things that they didn't spend that time on, and kind of make a better guitar out of it.
Pretty good. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of, you know, like just the right setup on a cheap guitar. You can make them sound pretty damn good,
but
and passable and usable and cheap. You know, it's good to start.
Yeah, so that's
and good for me to mess up the paint on
right.
it.
So getting back to what we were talking about, so ASAP saw all of these like retro guitars, and he's like, oh, some of these are really cool that it looks like people just like used and abused, and they have a very like specific feel to them that feels like, you know, they were from the 70s, and maybe there are even some like cigarette burns and whatever, scrapes and scuffs, but it looks really cool. And there are places that you can take your guitar and spend thousands of dollars to get them to replicate that. But ASAP being ASAP, he says, you know what, I'm going to look up some videos and see if I can do this myself. Which, listen, even with a cheaper instrument, that's ballsy. You know, because I don't know that I'd be chipping away at my only bass guitar. But ASAP has balls.
Yeah,
so.
and yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, there's like cheat codes on the internet now where people are like buying stencils, like shaving down the whole guitar, buying a stencil, sticking it on there, and then like spray painting it.
But that's not what you did.
No.
So explain to us what you did. So
I started
the
with
the guitar actually looks really great. And before you started, you sent me a picture of what you were going for, and you're essentially trying to replicate this kind of dinged up guitar.
That was an important aspect that I found in the research. That was like, find an aged instrument that's like your inspiration.
Which makes sense, because if I was going at this, and this is why I don't do shit like this, I would have just started.
I did.
And it would have... Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then I like was like, yeah, but...
Yeah, maybe I should have some sort of an idea what
then
direction I'm
one
going,
up
so I'm
after.
not just And you know what that reminds me of? When I was in high school, there were kids that would buy these, like, I came from a town, Great Neck, Long Island, that it's just a very wealthy town, and all of these kids would wear the most ridiculous, like, bleached, coffee-stained, cut-up jeans that they would get at these Diesel stores or whatever jean stores for like $300 a pair, right? And I always thought it was absurd. And one day I'm like, you know what? I bet I can make a pair like this. So I took a pair of jeans.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, except I have no artistic talent in that realm of like fashion and shit. So I took the jeans, I took them into my kitchen, bleached the hell out of them, literally poured coffee, started cutting them up. They looked absolutely ridiculous.
We should try that again. Now that you're, you know, working at the art department, you might be able to sell some. You know.
Yeah. Someone's going to buy my coffee stained jeans.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how
We got
something
some coffee
starts.
here, we can get some bleach.
But anyway, so you found a picture that kind of gave you some guidance in terms of the direction you wanted to head,
Yeah,
and
where it would be aged. But actually, why I just started is because there was like a pretty good ding, like right at the top. And I could see the wood, so that's why I was just like, okay, that's like a natural place to start. And like, literally started with a kitchen knife because I didn't have like the right tools that I saw online, and I was like, I really want to start tonight, and like Home Depot's closed, so I just went to town. But I like used like the opposite side of the knife, and then like my girlfriend came home and she's like, "You're using a serrated knife?" And I was like, "Doesn't it look cool?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, don't worry, it's going to look great.
And that's the interesting thing about working with a creative, because sometimes someone has a vision that you can't see, and that's happened a lot for us. You know, there's plenty of things that we've not necessarily seen that full vision that the other person has seen, but you have to trust in your partner.
You just gotta start.
Yeah,
like
and
you just gotta start some of the time, and that's like.
It's like I was saying, I called it balls, but it's brave. It's brave to, go and try to destroy your instrument to make it look cool.
I mean,
but so you started out
a lot of fun.
You started out with the knife, and then I saw that you bought a whole bag of tools, right?
Yeah. So then I went to Home Depot and grabbed because they use like little relicking tools, what they call it, but it's basically like a really sharp I don't know, like paint chipping knife or something like
a chisel.
Kind of like a chisel, but I just bought a really small screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and then for 98 cents bought like a paint can opener. And those were my two favorite tools that I found. But I also bought an X-Acto knife because I would see them use like really sharp X-Acto knives.
And then you just started scraping away at the guitar.
Yes, and I bought like two different shades of sandpaper, like two different grades of sandpaper, and just went to town. And
it came out great, and it really does look a lot like the picture that you were working off of.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was super cool because like in the videos I was watching, the person was like, use the picture as like the idea of where the wear would be, and then just kind of take like artistic liberty. And man, it was just so fun to be like, well, maybe I was walking, took the strings off and banged the guitar up against the wall by accident one time when I was rehearsing. It's been through the 60s and back. So.
Yeah, you were talking about maybe even putting some cigarette burns towards the top where people would hold that.
Yeah, where you'd
the cigarette in between the strings.
Yeah, right here. But actually, I was thinking about you, Toby. Was like sanding down the whole entire back and then doing like some sort of custom paint job of like either an artist or like
the Sapo logo.
Could do like a Sapo logo. Could just do something super cool where, maybe I could take the whole thing apart and just give you the piece of wood and we sand down the back. And then we just start a service. Because I don't know, like
now ASAP's starting a business.
Well, because maybe I wouldn't have the balls to just start, And if I did see a service and I was walking through West Hollywood, I was like, oh shit, like I want a custom guitar.
Well, we were talking about how those places charge like thousands of dollars. So if you want to charge like a couple $100, maybe
just to start,
undercut the business.
Yeah, like when I started doing video, like I couldn't charge a premium because I didn't have a lot to show people. But eventually you have a portfolio, like you get some great artists involved. Who wants a guitar, man?
Yeah, anyone from our audience want to purchase one of these ASAP guitars? So after you were screwing around with the bass, you finished that. Or
after I relicked it,
is that finished? Outside of doing that sand job on the back and maybe having to paint.
Yeah, I think the front's done. Yeah, I think whatever happens from there is just natural.
Yeah. So then just like,
but I will say, taking the time with the instrument, thinking about like my craft as a musician, wanting to take it more seriously, like over time, and just like, I don't know, there was some weird connection that happened with the bass guitar that like once I played it after that, like I was a different bass player.
Yes,
I'm not going to lie.
And we're going to have to play that song that you
I mean, it was just a bass line that came out of me right after. I felt like I was like,
but it was very cool. And when you sent that to me, I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's in a groove.
It was like, who
is this?
Yeah. Like I've never played the bass like that.
But before you play that for the audience, I just want to say that like, just like with tattoos, it can be a little dangerous when you get into things like this, because when you get one, you want a million, right? And that's just, it starts the floodgates. So he finishes with the bass, and I come over to his house, and he's got a gorgeous acoustic guitar. It's a Taylor. Oh, yeah. And Taylor's, famous for making really great acoustic guitars, and they're expensive. And it's not like buying a $300 guitar and scuffing it up.
It was a pretty expensive guitar. But I've had it for a long time.
I'd imagine
it has some nice natural dings on it.
There
and I was
you
like,
go.
it's a great place to start.
But I'd imagine that guitar was at least $700 when you bought it, if not more. Really?
Yeah, it was several $100 more than that.
Right. Yeah, that's why I said at least.
I think it was like 15 or
like
$1,800.
They're expensive guitars. Yeah. So that's why when you were like, hey man, I'm thinking maybe I should chisel this one too. I'm like, okay, wait. First of all, this is an expensive guitar. Second of all, acoustic is a little different because you got a lot less wood to work with. Yeah. So I could see you like chiseling the front of that and you just go through the body. That would not be good.
Yeah, and the hard part about this one was that like this black paint is actually like a thick plastic to get to the.
It looks
to
like
get
there's
to
some
the
laminate
wood.
over it.
Yeah, so it was hard to get to the wood, but it was cool, man. I worked like
You-
in like it was interesting, and I wonder if as an artist and like painter, Toby over here who's running the switcher, like if you work on a canvas and it's like huge, but you're like working on like tiny little pieces in one moment, like, and that's what this was, working in like tiny little sections, and like you couldn't go too fast. And like in the videos I was watching, they're like, if it takes an hour to do like a little tiny spot, let it fucking take an hour. And it's like,
Well, that's where you also have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
you
it was
you
so much
find a
fun.
way to enjoy all of these tedious
I
things.
didn't like
don't
listen
know
to
how.
music or anything. Like I just
What?
like, yeah,
you were sitting there in silence, just chiseling away like a psychopath.
not a psychopath, but it was very
Well, I'd
like
call
it
you
was
a
very
psychopath.
like therapeutic. It was
Wow, weird.
I feel like I'm a woodworker, man. I would like come back inside and like Kelsey's like, you got to like do some work or something. I was like, I've been working all day. Like I'm still sick. I don't feel good.
Yeah. All right, so I want everyone
was a
to
lot of
hear
fun.
the track that came out of that bass after you were done chiseling away, because it's got some serious fire behind it.
Yeah, and then like I'm just trying to practice my guitar playing and practice finding a pocket and and then eventually just like solo over these moments.
I really like that expression, and you've used it several times. Finding the pocket.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like finding the groove in the song. Yeah,
Yeah.
finding your musical stride, so to speak.
I mean, this is just a loop.
Does
Actually,
this have a name?
I just called it grooves. But I heard John Mayer say something, and it kind of made me like rethink everything that we've been doing.
Oh yeah, you had coffee with John recently.
Yep.
Nice.
Me and John had a little
Powwow?
one-on-one. He said he'll come on the show eventually, but
Sweet.
He said we're not there yet.
Got it.
And,
Okay. Yeah. He's still touring with Dead and Company. He doesn't have time for us right now.
Yeah. But
Got it.
he
Okay.
said at some point when he's in Los Angeles, he's just chilling.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here, folks. ASAP said John Mayer's going to be on the show at some point.
Yeah, no worries.
But anyway,
All
tell us
good.
what John said.
He was saying that making loops is a great way to waste time.
Oh, good. We are fantastic at wasting
which
time.
Sort of proved itself in you just picking up the instrument and, like, as he calls it, Ouija boarding. Like, you start playing. You were just playing two chords, and then you like Ouija board with your voice, and then eventually, like, you found this would be like a vocal melody, and then you like went with it. So like, that's what he was saying. Like, he played those two chords. Was like, I could start here, record it, but that's not the same as. And then he's like, if it's not coming out of your mouth and like in your head as to what the song is, like, don't fucking record it. So it's like, I think it's happened naturally on our show when we've jammed, where just words fell out of your mouth because of the groove.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
Stop on that.
Yeah, it also it's funny because as much as I don't know how much I like the song that I created. It was very much something we've talked about on the show. This whole idea of like the vessel and the conduit. Like,
Yeah.
I was playing around with doing the thing that Sia has described, where you just kind of like mumble sing until words come out. And it is a real thing. Like,
It
I was
is.
kind of just doing that.
It is.
And lyrics just kind of came out of that.
Yeah, but there's meaning to it, and you're also clever. So there was like clever.
Thanks,
There
man.
was like clever lines in it.
Very angsty. But wait.
But
Let's-
so is fucking Taylor Swift. Okay,
Okay,
just
but
like
she's allowed. I don't know that I'm allowed. Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I want to hear the song that came out of the bass after you fucked it up, because that song was cool.
after I made it awesome,
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is a loop, and I guess I wasted a bunch of time making a loop.
Yeah, according to John Mayer. Right?
This was the bass line.
And you played the guitar too? awesome.
The only thing that I didn't play. Oh, actually, I did play this drum beat on these drum pads here. And then I did not play this shaker. But yeah, there's definitely room here to just like tear up the guitar and just go absolutely buck wild. But that's what that feels like.
Yeah, man. Cool stuff.
So that's what I've just been doing is like jamming over that. I'll just push play at my house and just practice for a couple hours. And then I've been jamming over your song as well.
And as much as I talk shit, I do love how inspired you've been and you know, just taking that by the horns. And
yeah, dude, it's just like
rocking with it. It's cool.
Fuck it, man. It's like, you know, at some point there will be a project I put out. I need to
absolutely
put together
you have
some songs and finish that. And I was actually having a really long conversation with Ernie.
From the Avant-Gardians.
From the Avant-Gardian. Shout
Uncle
out
Ernie.
to the Podfather.
Yeah.
Was having a long conversation with him about just completing things and putting them out. And, you know, it's just got to do it, man.
Well, and what's really been exciting, too, is, you know, I've talked about your musical growth in the last, like, 6 months, and that's been exciting to watch. But what's really even more exciting than just that is this collaboration that's happening between you and a lot of the artists that are coming on the show. There have been several artists that have heard some things that ASAP's working on, and they're like, oh, let's collab, let's make a track. And he's now made tracks with Lobo 301. He made a track with Preems. Yeah, you're
just
collabing and rocking away.
Keep going, cool. You know, keep making things. And that's why I'm saying it's like, I'm inspired by a lot of the artists that we've met, you know, that kind of go through that themselves, that are like, I just need to put something out. And like, they sit, you know, I don't know why as artists we just sit on content for fear of like taking the steps and then it fails, but then you got to just keep going and try again.
Yes, but I think sometimes it's about fear. But for a lot of people, like, you know, we know a couple of people that have been making content, and no, it's not even perfection. It's you want people to hear what you're creating, especially if you're using that outlet as a career path. So, like, you don't want to just drop a song or an album into a void, and that's what a lot of like people have been in the industry have been talking about. How can we do this in a way that people are actually going to receive it, are going to listen to it, which is why there's this new I posted something about it on the Sapo Instagram story recently. There's this go on Instagram, Sapo Studios, follow. But there's this method that has been implemented over a lot of the labels, and people are using this. It's called the waterfall method, and it's basically where you release one single and then maybe you release another single, and you kind of slowly drip out these songs to where people are actually listening to the songs, enjoying them, and then the album comes out after those songs have been released as singles, and it's comprised of all of these songs that people have enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And it's like making people listen to the whole album and listen to the music and pay attention to it more than just kind of dropping the album into the void. So that's a thing. It's like some people either don't have the marketing or don't know the tactics to be able to actually get their music into the hands of people, into the ears of people. And that's, I think, a big part of maybe that, you know, there's some fear of that happening when you talk about fear. But,
you know, thousands of songs, tens of thousands of songs released every single day on Spotify.
Right.
It's like, who cares about my song being released?
Yeah. And
especially like not having a following, and it's just, you know,
so I think that's why people build up
place to start
that content.
That's what it is you just have to start.
Right. And I do want to roll over to the song that we created, or that stupid song that I put together at your house. But you know, before we get to that, I did see that Ed, the CEO of Frogland, the founder of Satributes, is in the audience with us. How you doing, Ed?
Did you make him a speaker? I don't see that.
I did. I thought I did.
I don't see that.
No?
Nope.
You hear me?
Yep. I can hear you. Yeah.
I can hear you. Now I see your speaker.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
How's it going there, Ed?
Yeah, fantastic. Enjoying the funky vibes. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of this the show has for us.
You and me both, man. I did want to kind of bring you up also because you were in LA for SIGGRAPH. What are you doing over there? Just putting a little music in the background. All right. Setting the mood. So Ed, you came into town for the SIGGRAPH conference, which I heard was a major success, and you were demonstrating the curve, which is well, I'm not going to describe it. Why don't you tell the people at home what the curve is all about, what you've been tinkering away with for so long, and I've used it and it's unbelievable. Tell everyone what that's about.
Thank you. I mean, it's been a very hard thing to describe up until I had a bit of a brain wave last night, and I'm like, it's a spatial fucking computer. That's what I built. And so that sort of summed it up. So you hear this spatial computing, which means sort of using XR displays in some shape or form. This thing is the thing that powers those displays. It's a wearable desktop-class computer that weighs half a kilo and is small enough to sit in your pocket or sort of sit in a little sling. But it's powerful enough to drive big, powerful PC-grade VR and AR headsets. So what we were showing off were these holographic panels with some very cool Frogran content on there. That was, an eye-opening experience to a lot of people that went there. We, in fact, had the heads of Meta, AR, a bunch of the Apple folks, a bunch of the Sony folks come, and many jaws were on the floor, which was quite a fun thing to see. We had a good 4 days at that tech event, and yeah, I was only there for a few days, unfortunately, but it was a whale of a time.
You are always ahead of the curve, pun intended. Love it. To just completely simplify and dumb down what this thing is so that everyone really understands, because it's so cool. Ed gave me an opportunity to try it out. It's basically these very thin white panels, like he's talking about, that have adhesive on the back, and you can tape them all over the walls, all over the floors, and then you put on these glasses that are attached to this device, like Ed said, that you can wear. It's small enough and compact enough and light enough that you can walk around with it on your side. And the glasses allow an image to show up on those panels. So imagine you could deck out an entire room and be in a completely different environment, and everywhere you look there's these computer digital screens,
and you wouldn't be like connected to those Apple type things where it looks like super uncomfortable. It's like wrapped around the back of your head. Like, these are like glasses.
Yeah,
no, they wear like eyeglasses.
They were not heavy. They were very lightweight. It was so cool, dude. Well
done, Ed. You know, we're lucky to
be associated with you.
And just like, you know, watch this. You know, we've heard of the curve for at least the last year, and we saw
longer than that,
and we saw images of it online, and like
he's been working on it for what? How long have you been working on it? Ed? At least 5 years, right?
Well, so Curve in stealth about 4 years, probably more than 4 years now. The underlying IP inside of it, even longer, since about 2012. But that took the form of many different headsets over many different years. And only after about 4 years did we realize that decoupling the compute from the display allowed the headset manufacturers, or currently the VR headset manufacturers, to do the thing they really don't want to do, but ultimately the thing that consumers need them to do for mass adoption, and that is to take the computer out of the headset. Because if you think about it, the moment you take that computer out of these headsets, and these headsets are currently made by the likes of Apple and Facebook, the people who thrive on your data, they then are making TVs with extra sensors that don't have the ecosystem, don't have the app store, and have the risk that people will be able to plug them into whatever they want, mainly my computer, or many other computers will come out after this. So the world that XR is currently stuck in is almost like if you wanted to play a PlayStation, you had to buy a Sony TV. The decoupling of compute and display hasn't happened in XR yet, as it has happened in TVs. You know, Apple eventually made the fucking the Apple TV because people weren't necessarily just going to buy a Mac just to use that stuff, so they will fuck it, make that a little product and push it out. So it's an inevitability. Consumers will win, but it'll take a while.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely insane that you have been like on this wave that we're now, as a still fairly niche community, calling Web3, and you've been way ahead of that, like light years ahead of that several years ago. So that's absolutely, that's amazing, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff, and it's so exciting that it's not just a concept; it's actually here. Yeah. It's not just something that
like
he's talking about. Yeah. It's like something I got to put on my head and actually see, and It was fucking dope. So,
dude, we're coming to LA to build the holodeck. That's the next big thing. If you're familiar with what the holodeck is,
yes.
What's that?
So you know that's that scene in Star Trek when they walk into that room and they press a button and all of a sudden the whole room changes into something else and they're like walking down the.
That's
so
the
holodeck.
cool.
Yep, and it's funny you should say that because when you first showed me the equipment, it immediately, and I told you this, Ed, made me think of in The Matrix when he first loads into that room where they're gonna, he and Lawrence Fishburne are gonna kung fu against each other. It's like, if that's how you would say that. But yeah, it's just reminded me of that, this entirely digitized space that's been created around you, and it's an amazing concept.
That is awesome.
It really is.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff. Thank you for being with us here, Ed. We always really appreciate your support. You've been so kind to show support for so long, and we love you very much. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, it was good
Back
to
on you,
hang out with you at the art department briefly a couple of weeks ago, man.
That's right.
And I gotta say, I know if we'd had baby's visa sorted, I would have been able to stay for longer, and we would have been there at the party. I mean, I saw the videos; it looked like you had a great event. And for anyone who's out there, like, I don't know if they're allowed to, but fucking stop by the art department and check it out because you get some amazing work there, some amazing people, and of course, it's where Sapo Studios is now based out of.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, a lot of cool things happening.
Not only are they allowed to, but they're encouraged to. Please, everyone should definitely stop by the art department. There's always something cool going on here, and even if it's just to come and look around, it's a very interesting space. Yeah. And they open their doors to people, and it's very cool to just be here.
Grab some merch. There's really cool clothes downstairs. I was actually going to ask if I could wear one of the outfits that's on the hanger downstairs.
ASAP saw a jumpsuit. He's like, "You think they'd mind if I wear this?" I'm like, these are probably expensive clothing pieces that you shouldn't just be playing with costumes.
Hey, I didn't play with them.
No, I know, but I could see where your head was going. Yeah. You're like, "Hey, man, I should just throw this on."
Like, I would probably look way cooler than I do right now if I was wearing that amazing jumpsuit downstairs. So if you're strolling by the art department, maybe you want to hop in and grab a new outfit for your day out in West Hollywood.
Right. But yes, in addition to just stopping by as you stroll by, if anyone is interested in being in our live studio audience, which is a thing that we've started to do a little bit, please reach out to us at sapostudios1@gmail.com. We would love to have you. It's really a lot of fun having people live in the space. It gives it a different kind of electricity for us, and it's a really interesting thing that we've started to do. So we would love to have you be a part of that. A lot of the artists that we've been having on now are doing live performances of at least one of their songs as part of them being interviewed on the show. So you come, you have a couple of Talagos, maybe some Spirit Punks vodka. If it's not too early for you,
we'll get you some
the show
snacks,
starts at noon.
We'll figure out some yummy snacks.
Maybe we get some snacks at some point. You listen to some music. It's a good time.
You hang out with the Daves.
I don't know if that's why you're coming, but yeah, why not? Yeah. Sure.
We do have fun.
We do have fun. Even if we're the only ones having fun, there's fun being had here, man.
Yeah, you could hop on the wave too. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so definitely stop by the art department when you get a chance. Now, I did want to check in with Ed because I saw him there, but to rewind back to what we were talking about, we were making some music. No. Dan's like, don't rewind. Nobody wants to hear this stupid song that you made.
Don't rewind.
Thanks, Toby, man.
Don't rewind. No ding-a-linging. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
But I really didn't want to play this angsty song for everyone, but ASAP here has been twisting my arm.
It's good. So, and that's the thing too, man, is like, you have also been like stepping out of your shell. Like, I feel like I've gotten you to like sing a little bit, I think that there's more in there, and
more in these vocal pipes of mine.
Yeah, yes, but there's
my brother is the singer, not me.
A doorknob could sing. That's
oh yeah,
you could teach a doorknob to sing.
I'm sure all the singers out there love to hear you say that. Dude, the same way that someone could say, a doorknob could edit the way ASAP edits videos.
Somebody could learn if they took their time. They could.
Man.
Yes, they could. 100%. I guarantee it. I didn't come out of the womb just like
there is a certain amount of talent that you have outside.
Fuck talent. Like that's the thing is like
talent can't be learned.
Not all of these. See, but that's the thing I was trying to make you recognize the other day was like people wish they could do what you did, just sitting there in a couple of seconds. People wish they could create something from nothing. Sure, there's a little bit of that, but the idea that,
Okay, before
is it nature? Is it nurture? Because I think maybe it's nature, but I don't know. A lot of practice makes perfect, and what a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, I wish I could do that," they could if they'd done the 10,000 fucking hours of practice.
Yeah, have you tried?
Right, and look, to that point, yes, I'm sure that someone could put in the time and edit really well. I just think that there's something about your innate ability to see beyond the.
That's also just opening yourself up to be a vessel to the art. So like people that are like, oh, I can't do it, they're just automatically closing themselves off to be able to receive that as a vessel.
Interesting.
Anybody can do it. We're all made up of the same thing.
I want to
just think about it. Think about that in the sense of how many times I've told you to open yourself up to things like
you're right.
that.
You're right. But I do want to check in with Toby here because I saw him raise his hand and I want to see what he has to say.
Talent doesn't always rise to the top.
Yeah, talent doesn't always rise to the top.
It's so true, and that's what I was going to say. Some of
let him break that down.
My favorite singers don't have the best voice. They just write melodies that are great, and their words are clever, and they have great meaning behind there. But they're playing C, D, G, A. And there's nothing groundbreaking about what they're doing.
A lot of the Beatles songs were very simplistic in that way, and just a couple of chords. But yeah, where were you going with that, Toby?
Well, the reason why talent doesn't rise to the top is because talent doesn't always show up. Because in this business, you just have to show up and do it. And so the ones that are showing up and doing it are the ones that are making the deals.
Yep. And they may not always be the best. They may not be the best.
Be mediocre.
Exactly. But and the guy who's super talented is sitting in his room being like, what's this thing I got to keep doing? Oh, I got to get better at this before I go out there. And like, no, you don't.
Yeah. No, and that's
like you have something that,
and I guess that is
okay. He's telling you to go sit down. You're blocking the camera too.
Fine. I won't bother you anymore, Toby. You can go back to the switcher. But look, I don't. This may be an agree to disagree moment for me because I hear what you're saying about opening yourself up, but I do think that there are some things that are just you're born with or you're not, and you can teach yourself to a certain extent, you can learn to a certain extent, but there's something that goes beyond that like there's
desire,
the it factor
that
they've talked about, you know,
totally.
like
Harry Styles
it factor.
Harry Styles has the it factor compared to like Dave Matthews Band, who's not like the all in one encompassing like star. Harry Styles has like all of the check boxes of like performer, like this, all these aspects. So I hear what you're saying, but that didn't stop like somebody who wasn't perfect, like Dave Matthews, let's say, from being successful.
Yes. So to your point,
he showed up like undeniably.
It shouldn't be something that stops you from doing what you want to do. All I'm saying is there is that, line.
There's desire though, and passion, and like I said, we're all made up of like the same things, and like I think your desire and passion and self-belief can lead you to, create something that you initially may have thought like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not a person that could do that. But like maybe I'm not a person to paint, and like one day I'll paint something, and if I open myself up enough to, the craft and like downloading what needs to be made, then I may make a piece of art that somebody calls amazing, and otherwise, if I was just sitting at my house being like, oh, I can't do that, and that's not going to happen, like there's nothing there,
yes, and there is a very big part of me that's changed as a result of seeing you do things,
and that's what I was going to tell you earlier, was like, think about you from your perspective, and me telling you that like all along, and there's more still, and that's what I'm telling. That's where this whole thing started, was like I feel like I brought that out of you in order to like sing, and just like you don't have to like put on a show, you just have to like find your voice. And if you're finding your voice authentically, and then you're like sharing feelings authentically, that's what people resonate with, not being the it factor. Like,
all right, play my stupid song.
But yes,
yeah,
okay. So again, You know, we were not meeting up to jam. We were just you were coming upstairs to hang out.
No, and in
the
fact,
instruments were sitting out.
Yes, and that is a big part of just playing, is having access to the instruments like that. But in fact, your guitar was tuned all screwy.
Yep.
And I didn't even know what to do with that. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to kind of hit some strings and see what happens. And I was futzing around, and I was kind of, like you were saying, just letting it fall out of me.
Yeah.
It turned into something.
It was funny. I forgot about that part of it, actually, because you were like,
can I retune this?
Can I play this? And I was like, nah, I kind of like, it's in a really strange tuning. It's actually an accidental tuning that I did a long time ago. Nick Drake has a special tuning. It's like C, G, C.
A lot of C's.
F, C, and then E. And I accidentally tuned F to F sharp. So it's like if you strum like what you think would be a chord, it sounds like trash.
Right.
So like you were like, can I retune it? And you like played a couple chords that were not good at all. And then you just kind of like, within the first 2 minutes, you started strumming this thing, and then you started humming. And I'm like, see, dude, like that, you got something there. And you're like, yeah, but I'm not a musician, and like I'm not this and I'm not that. I'm like, dude, like what are you talking about? And then you kind of like did it again as a joke, and then you like went to go put the guitar down. I'm like, David. Because I had my computer open, I had Logic open, I was playing earlier that day, so the shit was just on, plugged in. I'm like, let's just record this right now. And like, good on you for being open to it, because normally you're like, nah. So I'm happy you did, and like, look what came out of it, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, look.
I mean, it's so cool. But again, like, this isn't the thing, because what like where I was starting was, I'm glad you sang a little bit, but there's still like a whole other aspect where we would go like line by line, and you just focus on like a couple of words at a time. And I'm telling you, the end result compared to what we have here now, and us just taking like a couple hours to like just do those vocals, bro, I guarantee you.
Okay,
like there's a legitimate song there that someone in Nebraska would feel something from that doesn't that doesn't know you.
My target audience is in Nebraska.
I'm just saying, like, someone out there that doesn't know you that would just be like, oh, that's my vibe. Like, you know, that's my vibe.
No, look, I will say that I think part of the reason I keep calling it a stupid song and a silly song and diminishing it is because that's the biggest issue I have with myself musically, is that I don't see myself as a singer. Yes, I have come around to think like I can play decent guitar here and there, and I have rhythm and all of this stuff, and I can structure a song sometimes, but I definitely don't see myself as a singer. So the minute the singing comes into it, it feels
it's like
like
Weezer, dude. Like, Weezer doesn't have a fucking great voice. He actually sounds like a doofus, but it works.
But what I was going to say
was,
Weezer,
I don't mean you sound like a doofus. I actually love Weezer.
Real nice, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Hope we never come across Weezer now.
No. Like, I don't mean like it's just, he's not like, he's not
Rivers
like,
Cuomo
like
is who you're talking about.
You know, it's not like he's like Sam Smith.
Yeah.
You know, where he's got like these amazing vocal pipes.
What I was going to say was, I think that, yes, there is a song here that's kind of cool. If someone else were singing it, I might have more respect for the song. I don't like hearing it with my voice on it. That's my big issue.
But
play the stupid song.
Normally when people start singing, they don't, until you have more confidence, like I'm saying.
All right, play the stupid song.
And then eventually you'll be like, Doorknob can sing.
And I'm walking through all these broken memories that I have of you. Everybody's watching me. Is anybody watching you? Nobody will ever care the way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
All right, so that's
it's so good, man.
that's a little Bingus ditty.
again, there's like a there's a room for like a shredding guitar, and like I said, I've been practicing over this as well the last couple of nights, and yeah, definitely found some really cool lead guitar parts, and I've like been excited to record them on my own time and then send it back to you, and you'd be like, "Whoa, dude! Like, there's a real song here," which there is, man. It's so
really
good.
funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, I do like Karma's a Bitch and So Are You.
It's been in my head. I woke up some mornings and it's just like Karma's a bitch, like just in my head, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. The guy in Nebraska is going to be going to work. Well, hear it on Spotify one day on the Sapo playlist.
I'm glad
by the Daves from the '60s.
I'm glad I have two fans: ASAP Froggy and some guy in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I'm part of the band, so like
Yeah, but you're also some sort of a fan over there. It's kind of weird.
I'm your hype man. Like
All right, well, turn that shit off. Now we've subjected the audience to enough of my nonsense.
One more time for the chorus.
Oh wow, you can turn it up instead of turning it off.
Nobody will ever care the way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's so good. So are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
Well done, man.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
It fell out of you, dude.
Yeah, like a dump. Oh my god! Okay,
it's good work.
Well,
man, like, dude, it just the chorus there is really hype.
Now that I'm blushing over here,
Poor David.
All right. Well, we've chatted it up for a while. Do you want to get into a little, as Toby calls it, a dink dink session?
little jam session.
Should we play a couple of chords, or do you want to do your solo over the song?
Maybe. I would have to do a little warm up, but shout out to some people in the audience. What's up, Ernesto? We were just talking about you, brother.
Hey, Ernie from the Avant-Gardians. Love it.
The pod, aka the Podfather. Mama Bingus is a usual. What's up, Turk? Good to see you here, brother.
You meant Mama Froggy.
Mama Bingus. Yeah, I don't know why I said Mama Bingus.
My mom's
Papa
not
Bingus.
here.
Mama Froggy G, that's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got nothing to do with Bingus, man.
You know what? To that end, as long as you're shouting people out in the audience, I'm gonna go over to my phone and see if anyone wants to hop up. We'll make a request. We can make this little party here.
Anyone want to come up and say anything? What's up, Bailey? What's up, Jay? What's up, Nate? What's up, Snow? What's up, One Stone?
Turk up on stage.
Yeah, somebody come on up. Kenji, what's up?
Hey, we've
Turk
got
is up.
Turk
What's up,
here.
brother?
What's up?
Turk, how are you?
How you doing?
We're doing well, man. I just got to shout you out for a hot second in that gang
Make it
in the
right,
in the Barry trailer. That was so cool, man. It was like, yes, there's some Web3 out there that's sneaking into.
Tell me what you're talking about. I missed this.
What? Tell who what?
Well, I was asking ASAP to tell me, but if you want to tell me what he's talking about, I feel like I'm not in the loop here.
Because I was one of the people that co-wrote the lore for the Gutter Cat Gang and just heavily in that ecosystem and doing the collabs for them and stuff like that. And while being an actor on television, we had to do reshoots for season 3. And the alpha, if you're ever an actor, is that when they do reshoots, that means they have to use the new footage. Like, that's why they're doing it. So there was like 4 scenes left to shoot, and I was in all of them, and we shot them all in one day. And the last scene I had was my lines were in the middle. It was in the middle of the scene, so they're not going to cut it. So I could literally say anything I wanted to. So my line was like, yes, yes, or I was exuberant. My character was exuberant, and I'm like a gangster. I'm like a Chechen gangster or whatever. And it's a funny show. It's a dark comedy. And I was like, I'm not going to tell him. It just dawned on me. I was like, I'm just going to say gang, and I'm gonna see if Bill Hader, after the scene, if he's going to look like, if he looks, because he's okay with improvisation as long as it you just try something out. He's not, So I did it. The rehearsal was over, and I looked around surreptitiously, and nobody was looking at me. And we started shooting it. Then we shot it 3 times, that scene, and then we turned it around and shot the other angle.
And you repeated it all 3 times.
So I did gang like 6 times, and then it wrapped, and then the season finally wrapped, and then like 3 months later, somebody in the gutter like found the season 3 opening trailer. It's like a 30-second trailer. It was like for season 3, and there I am in the scene really quick, and you hear me saying "gang, gang," and so funny. It was like this thing where like nobody knew I was doing it, and I wasn't. I was just doing it to see if I can get away with it. And it was like a little bridging of like Web 3 and Web 2, like in one little moment. And it was really cool. So that
it's so cool to watch. It's so cool to watch. And the line's like Barry's back. It's like gang gang. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
dude.
It was good. And so yeah, I like to have fun in Discords and sort of like just do shit like that. It's like it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like a funny way to take from the rich and give to the poor Discords, You're
the Robin Hood of Web3. I love it.
Yeah. Well, how you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
Great.
Yeah, it's it's a little gloomy, but we're having a great time.
Yeah. That's good. I like that song. I'm just trying to fucking figure out, man, how to mass unfollow a fucking bunch of bots, man. Does anybody have any fucking alpha on that? All these other apps do not work. Sorry to take away from this.
No.
I'm dealing with.
That's a good question. Any tech people in the audience have
I don't know. Ed, you got any info on that? Any alpha?
I mean, the best thing I could possibly suggest is to stop following bots.
No. You know what happened? Storyverse. I hope this is recorded. No, Storyverse. When they released the announcement of a collection, the first collection I was doing with them, and still am, it was like a giveaway, and then fucking like thousands of, and I wasn't following them. It just like because of the give. If you do a giveaway, you're gonna get followed by bots, a lot of bots. So it's one of those things, and I'm pissed off about it. I'm fucking pissed. Anyway.
We don't like the bots on our Sapo account either.
Following bots. Look at that. Supposed to be a good guy.
I block and unfollow.
That old Monty Python UK comedy is just, ain't working for me right now.
It's dry. You just got to be ready for it, man.
Hello, mate. This is Snoop Frog. I run the business, and I'm a Silicon Valley guy. I've got this belt computer, and anyway, we're going to take over the world and rivet.
All right, so it sounds like we got a boxing match set up between Snoop and Turk. It's going to be happening at the art department in about a month. I hope you guys are getting ready, like Elon and
Web 3 boxing.
Yeah,
Celeb 3 boxing.
Oh,
Turk, you're like the Logan Paul.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't.
I feel like Snoop Frog should have been or had. Maybe he was in the background in Snatch. You know what I mean? Like, he would have been perfect for Snatch. I don't know.
Actually, that is really good.
Yeah, you like that?
I could see that. That's like, smoking cigarettes,
I want to see Ed appear in any movie.
We'll do it. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot some. You want to be in some, Ed?
Yeah, Ed, you want to be in one of our movies?
There are some adverts out there when I was a younger kid. I'm not going to tell you who. No, they're adverts, actually. I'll tell you that much, but good luck finding them.
Ooh, I'm going to have to do some digging on that.
That's going to be so good.
We're going to pull those.
At some point in the future, there will be a video that pops up right here. To commercial.
To quote my song, Ed, you fucked up because I am very good at digging. So
you're like, I'm not a songwriter, and now like 5 minutes later, you're like, to quote my song.
All right, kiss my ass, man.
No, I'm happy for you. You've come around finally.
Geez. All right. Well, anyway, Turk, I appreciate you being here as well, and we definitely have to have you in the studio at some point.
Man.
I'd love to have you on the show.
It'd be great.
Yeah, man. I'm like right down the road from. Are you still doing it at art department?
Yes, sir. Here right now.
I'm just. I'm around, man. I'd love to.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Can't wait.
Maybe when Snoop Frogg's back in the good old America, maybe we can do it together and we'll have a accent battle.
Yes.
That'd be great. Or a boxing match. You know, whatever we want to do, man.
I imagine him like Jerry. Remember that old Jerry Lewis movie where it's so funny? He's in the boxing ring and it's one of the best comedy clips, physical comedy things you could ever see. I don't know what the age group is in here, but
to be honest, the only Jerry Lewis movie I've seen is The Nutty Professor, the original. So I missed whichever film you're talking about.
No, it's okay. Maybe I'll send you a YouTube link. No, but I'd be totally down for that. Is there an event there tonight? Is there?
You know, I'm not sure. Keith is out in Tahoe trying to get over to Burning Man, so I haven't really.
So yeah, sure, dude. We'll throw an event.
Yes,
what do you want to do, bro?
We'll open up the doors and everyone come on down. No, I'm not sure if there's anything going on tonight.
Oh, did you see? Somebody just sent me. And it seems to be corroborated, but my friend is a couple of my friends are at Burning Man, and he apparently they have Wi-Fi, and he was doing a story about his boots that he's wearing and how they're caked up because of the moisture, some rain and stuff. But now people are stuck, like it's like drenched out there.
Yep.
Like
wasn't Keith saying that?
Yeah, no, a lot of people are stuck out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful, man.
Hopefully, people's equipment and everything is okay. And that's
that
insane.
would really suck.
Take all your expensive.
Just stay inside. It's nice and safe inside.
Yeah.
In the desert. No, there's no inside. There's no blanket.
I do also
Ernesto.
want to pivot over to Lollyhops, who I saw requested to come up. What do you got for us, Lolly? Hey, Lolly.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well. Living the life, you know.
Yeah. You got some alpha for us? You just wanted to say hey.
Oh, I've been locked down under so many locks and keys. I've lost count at this point. But so no alpha. But I was just going to be sharing a little bit of love and saying that. I totally loved your song. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
Very like modern English vibe, which is straight up my alley, of course. And I don't know. I just thought it's important, I think, to not put yourself down in these types of ways, especially in like such a cool space like Web3, and being able to kind of make sure that you're giving yourself the room to learn and grow and improve as a creator or as an artist of any kind, and make sure that in your efforts to be humble, which I know that is probably where a lot of this is coming from you, but make sure that you're also being aware of giving yourself grace and giving yourself that space to develop. And it's such a beautiful thing, I think, to be able to experiment with art and to kind of play in those boundaries, play across those boundaries, and play with the things that you might not be comfortable with or have done very much with before. And I don't know, I just wanted a little reminder, a little bit of love, and make sure that you love yourself first and all that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I appreciate you saying that. And it is something that's difficult for me that I am working on. I actually posted to my story recently. It was a Bruce Lee quote that talked about, don't speak poorly of yourself, because whatever you speak, you're essentially speaking into existence. So it is definitely something that's on my radar that I am working on, but it's hard.
That's literally what, hopefully it's okay, but Ernie and I were talking about it the other night, was talking about, it's like, careful with the story that you're telling yourself, and I think that's for all of us. And Toby, you and I spoke about that in Vegas. It was like, you just got to start saying like, you're the best at this thing. Like, I'm great at this. Like you have something great.
Hey, thanks, man.
Utilize it.
Yeah.
Don't deny it. So every time I say something to you about it, you kind of like speak poorly of it about yourself. But then somebody else watching you from across the street would say, damn, I wish I could play the guitar like that. Or damn, I wish I could.
The grass is always greener.
Damn, I wish I could come up with like a melody like that, or words that were clever like that.
I hear you. I'm working on it, man.
Autumn leaves are falling, and I'm walking through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, man.
I appreciate that.
There's
all right, let's
meaning there.
Let's pivot away from me.
We're at 1, 2, 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's pivot over to Don Love, member of the Frogland community. How are you, Don?
What's up?
Yeah, been a while since I've jumped up to say hey. Just wanted to say enjoyed the show, enjoyed the music. Also, Turk slipping the gang in there on film. Gotta
So
love
good.
it. Well played, sir. And I heard a tidbit in there that I really love. The idea of a celebrity death match. I can see that
Celeb
going
3,
down
man.
well. Yeah, but like for Web3,
Yeah.
like, do one of, like Gainsey versus Beanie or Art Chick versus someone.
Listen, I'm sticking with Turk versus Snoop. Okay,
That's a good first match.
and I'm gonna keep pushing that until
Yeah.
it happens. So I hope you guys are getting ready over there.
I think it's going to be
it might end up
pay-per-view.
being Snoop versus like a whole bunch of people, as he's picking fights with Nutty Frog in the Discord as well
Ooh.
lately. I mean, he's racking
That was
up
well
enemies.
deserved.
He's going to be the reigning
Yeah,
champion.
I'll be chilling with Turk in a pond in West Hollywood in no time.
Yeah,
Excellent.
And realistically, I've heard on the street that Snoop's the reigning champion right now. Like the world title has to be taken away from Snoop, and I heard Turk talking a lot of shit. Actually,
Oh, wow.
Which I'm going to be posting that here pretty soon.
I love you stoking the fire. This is so good.
It's just what I heard. I don't know.
I don't think Snoop has ever. When he said this, he can stop following bots. I don't think like. I was just picking that apart. I don't think he's ever.
That was a low blow.
Told me ever, and so now we're just jokingly going into a WWE kind of high drama, good versus evil.
Yep.
People still get hurt in the WWE.
Yeah.
But people watch it because of the high drama. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we love.
I heard the press
high
conference
drama.
coming up in a couple weeks too, where they
Yeah.
where they have a little conversation with
it's-
the press. They talk shit to each other.
They're going to do a weigh-in.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
was just thinking that a way in. I was just
They're going to go nose to nose, man. Right
Yeah,
out there.
but-
Who knows
but-
if a fight's going to break out early?
Ed, you can't wear the curve when you do the weigh-in. Okay. You gotta-
And I was just about to say, can I do this virtually from over here?
Yes, we're going to figure that out for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be a virtual weigh-in. Yes.
what would be good. It's like the prize pool should be like the two opponents' bags. You know what I mean? Like
Oh wow! Now you're going after.
Oh,
now
wow.
you're going after Snoop's
Wow.
bag.
You're
You know,
like,
this is getting serious.
I was just thinking. You mentioned Beanie, and I'm thinking, this motherfucker got paid $30 million to be bought out of Pixel Vault. I don't know in what world that made sense. That lucky motherfucker got $30 million for that, for a project that he carved out.
Web3, baby.
Web3, baby.
If by lucky you mean scammy, then it starts to make more sense.
That's more than that's more than a new prize fighter. I mean, I just like what? It's crazy.
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of that, so I'm not going to speak on it. But I think that's a perfect time to slip into a jam session.
I think there's a bag on the line here, man. I feel like there's a fight brewing. Press conference. What's the date of the press? We got to figure that out.
I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep
that
pushing
back
this.
in.
I'm going to keep pushing this. So you guys,
There's
going to
be some content. Man.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
we'll let you know when the fight's going down, when the weigh-in's going down. Everyone will be able to pay-per-view in.
Yep.
It's going to be the event of the year.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be an
Be
undercard.
streamed into the Dragonfly.
That's
Yep.
right.
There's going to be an undercard. We don't know who it is yet, but we're taking bids for the contract now. So Sapo Studios 1 at gmail.com if you want to fight on the Celeb 3
Celeb 3! I like
3
that.
boxing match.
Wow.
So, fight to the death.
That's money.
Let's go.
All right, let's play a little music before we stoke the fire
before
too
we
much.
start a whole new brand of something. Yeah. Before we stumble onto that.
Yeah, before you start another business over there. He's selling guitars. He's starting prize fights.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just keep throwing shit at the wall till it sticks, man. That's
Yeah,
what
you're
Jake
throwing
Paul
a lot
did.
of shit.
That's what Jake Paul did. Now look at him. He's fighting on the big main cards, betting bags.
You know, I have to say, I I do not like that guy, and I I watched the Netflix documentary Problem Child, which did make me feel like a little less hatred towards him.
Little bit.
But I still just don't like him.
Yeah, no. But I do kind of want to see him like.
I mean, no. You can empathize with how and why somebody turned out as a piece of shit and still think they're a piece of shit.
Exactly. Thank you for articulating that, because that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I've just heard like I've heard a mixed bag. You know, like just that he had really helped out Fuzi. You know, when no one was there to help that guy, and he was like, you know, mental health, you know, crisis, and you know, Jake apparently just paid for all of his things and was like, you know, I don't want any publicity about it, but he just paid a lot of money to have this woman in LA help that guy and, you know, not kill himself. So like there, you know, there are aspects of that are.
So let me ask you a question, just out of curiosity. Let's say that I murdered 4 people, and then I paid for someone's college tuition.
He murdered people?
No, he didn't murder anyone. Just
like,
to be
Jesus,
clear,
man.
everyone out there, he didn't murder anyone.
Viral clip. You're trying to make a clip go viral and just have him start to talk. Dude, I don't think you want him talking shit on you, bro. Like he'll fly out here.
I'll box him.
Yeah. Okay,
That's all right.
Okay, wait. I take that back.
Sounds like a, you know, we have talked about Dave's. Ooh, Jake Paul. I think you've just been called out. Jake Paul, you've just been called out by Bingus Frog over here. He wants to fight you. He's not a real boxer either.
Look,
I'm just kidding.
So no, he didn't murder anyone. I'm just, you know, taking it to the extreme that, like, you know, if you're a real shit person and you do something really great, does that make you any less of a shit person? That's kind of all I was asking, you know? But who knows? I don't know. And who am I to judge, right? Like, I'm kind of being an asshole over here. I don't know Jake personally. Maybe he's a great guy. It's just this perception I have of him because of this whole persona he's built around being an asshole. And he talks about it in Problem Child. You know, that is, to a certain respect, like, it's, you love to hate the villain, and that, you know, brings in the crowds, and it's definitely partially a marketing scheme, so good on him for figuring that out, I suppose. But I do fucking just I want to box him, man. All right, yeah. You know what? Set it up. Fuck it. Set it up, man. Set it up.
Let's email him, dude. You're calling him out.
Oh, listen. Well, we were looking for the undercard fight. That's us.
Yeah.
Me and Jake. We'll be the undercard.
Fight on the undercard of Snoop Frog versus Turk.
Yeah.
Let's
set it up, man. All right, you got Logic open over there,
yeah,
so we can.
It's been open, man.
All right. Let's hop in. I want to hear you solo around a little bit over this, since you said you have some ideas. So let's hop into some
hopefully
music.
I remember them.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. We appreciate you being here on this zany Saturday. It's there's something in the air. I'm not sure what it is, but we're having a good time. And glad to have ASAP back up on his feet after being sick and feeling like absolute crap. And,
as well as Toby over here.
As well as Toby over
here.
Half
the team had it, man.
Yeah, it's running rampant. So be safe out there, guys. But we're gonna hop into a little jam here. ASAP is gonna try to tinker around on the guitar here to see if he can shred over this song that I came up with the other night and expand upon it. So let's see where we go with that. So I see you grabbing the mint green Fender over there, and I'm kind of curious. Are you gonna relic that up, or is that, you know, your prized guitar over there, and you're too scared to?
I mean, I was thinking about it, but you know, that's why I kind of want to buy one of those.
Don't.
That's why I want to buy one of those, you know, $300.
Yeah,
Fenders.
I think that's the move. I see Toby was shaking his head in agreement with me. Don't do that. It's a beautiful guitar. Yeah.
Unless I mess something up in the future, or I bash it into the wall.
Sure. If there's already a natural scuff and you want to, continue with that, I guess that's okay.
Be a whole thing.
But for the time being, it's in pristine condition. You don't need to be scraping that.
That's why I wanted to get a $350 guitar.
Yeah.
And practice the next one.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Would you be down to paint the back of this bass? And then...
All right, let's...
of experience with that, painting guitars.
Varying degrees?
Varying degrees of expertise.
I have 0 for relicking the guitar?
The reason why is because way back in the day in Cleveland, I was part of, I think this is what's going on, Guitar Mania, where we painted these giant 15-foot long Fender guitars, front and back.
Huh.
And I'm personally responsible for almost destroying Fender guitar versus Serval, Loveall Serval. Why can't I say the name of the restaurant? Restaurant chain. The Hard Rock. The Hard Rock, that was right. I was almost responsible for that because what I did is I did a guitar for the Hard Rock, okay? But when the Hard Rock was going to make T-shirts and statues and little, bobblehead things with the guitar design for all across the nation. Okay?
That's pretty cool.
But then Fender saw it and said, "Oh my God, you don't have permission." Okay, even though United Way, who was the sponsor of the charity event for painting these giant guitars, got permission to use the exact, like what you have in your hand right now, a Fender.
Yeah.
The same design, but 15 feet long. Okay. But anyways, they went into litigation with each other, but then it was settled, and then Fender bought the guitar that I painted, and then they hung it in the lobby in Arizona at their headquarters.
That's
I don't know if it's
cool.
still there or not, but
so what you're saying is
so
yes,
I can paint a guitar if I have to.
Let's
make some. You're another one that loves to be so modest. I have varying degrees of expertise with this.
You're like, I can't do it. I'm thinking, you're like, I can't do it.
But yeah, he's like, no. Not only can I do it, but it's
hanging at the Hard Rock.
I also did another guitar for on TV. I was on the local Channel 8 in Cleveland, which was at the time changed from CBS to Fox. So I was on their morning show for a week, which was really illuminating painting because then I got to see behind the scenes of the talent that's on air. And that's why I say that the cream isn't always floats to the top. There's other things that float,
right.
in liquid.
Right.
I love how much shade Toby likes to throw. It's the absolute best.
It's not. It
is. It's shade.
It's the truth, though.
Listen, the truth can still be shade, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If you're the floater, and if you're a floater and you say you're the best floater, then you're the best.
Then somebody
floater.
has to listen to you about that.
Yes, but if you don't say that you're the best, then it's really hard for anybody to recognize it.
Yeah.
All right, you ready over there with that? Oh God, we got some feedback here.
Oh, I know.
Purposely? Oh, okay.
It's gonna be in your face, man.
Nice. All right, so we're going to get into it now. ASAP is going to go ahead and play some things on the guitar. I see another request, so I'm going to go and see what that's about.
And I'm walking through all these broken memories that I have of you.
All right, so we have WM coming up to speak. What's going on, WM?
Yo.
How are you?
Yo, what's good, Shay? Are you the Sapo Studios host?
Yeah, well, yes. This is my personal account, but I am one of the Sapo Studios hosts. We do this so that we don't get rugged by Twitter, so we actually start the Sapo Studios space from a cell phone, and then I use the whole rig here to stream from my personal account on my computer.
Yeah, to give you a little bit of the behind the scenes.
So you use OBS or use the desktop to stream the music?
Yeah, so through OBS
Very cool.
and then using BlueStacks to open up Twitter. And then I have a mixer going into an Apogee, and then that's how all this is happening.
Yeah, ASAP is very technically inclined, thank God.
Shout out to Ernie for the
Podfather for getting us set up.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'm currently limited on X right now. So should I give you the follow or should I give Sapo the follow?
I'd give it to Sapo for sure. We're trying to build that following out, and that's where we'll be posting. I mean, I'll repost all the stuff from my account from Shea Papoose, but definitely give Sapo the follow.
Yeah, and I have to say, because I love bringing this up, for those of you that maybe aren't on the inside with us, the whole Sheba Poos thing is because I'm sorry, it's so good.
I'm Egyptian. I grew up. My dad's from Egypt. My mom's from Michigan, so I'm half Egyptian,
half Michigander,
half Michigander. But my cousins, definitely taught me bad slang words.
All the worst things to say in Arabic. It's Arabic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. Salam alaikum.
Yes. Alaikum salam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello Tehran and attributes. Hello attributes. Hello Tehran.
So Sheba Poos means King Dingling in in Arabic. And let me tell you something. ASAP is definitely the King Dingling. So what's going on, WM? Did you just want to come up and say hi, or did you have something that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'm currently on my lunch break. I have something to share. Nothing. I have nothing to share. This life is meaningless and purposeless.
Okay. Do you play music, or do you just love music?
Yeah. I love music, but I rap. And I rap is nice. I could sing, but I rap mainly.
Cool. Do you have any tracks?
No, that's what I need to work on, Shay.
We'll definitely work on it. We'll play it on our show sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, Sheba Poos, King Dingling over there, but I think you have a couple of loops that you've made that maybe we can get something going. Maybe you should definitely, if you're interested in collaborating with us, email in and to sapostudios1@gmail.com. And maybe ASAP I'll throw you over a loop.
I'll send you a beat. Send me like songs that you like, or
absolutely.
a style. And
do you mind DMing me the email?
Yeah, sure. I'll make that happen. Absolutely. Cool. We got a little collab going. And you know what? This goes for everyone out there in the audience. This is something that we kind of tried to do from the beginning of us putting this show together and kind of trailed away from it because we weren't getting much audience participation. So we decided to just kind of move forward with the jam sessions ourselves and with the artists that come in. But if you do want to musically collab, we would absolutely love that. So reach out to us at sapostudios1@gmail.com and tell us what kind of collab you want to do. Do you want us to send you some music and you throw something onto it? Do you want to send us some lyrics and we throw that onto a track? Let's talk. Reach out. All right. So you got that? You got that there Fender set up? Yeah. Okay. He's shaking his head. Yeah. So we're gonna get into this now. ASAP is gonna go ahead and shred. And we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Awesome. I got to go back to work, but thank you so
much love. Mr. Bingus here will definitely send you
yes, I'll DM you, and thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate you.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever fucks up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
know what I'm thinking, man? You should clip the end of that, where it's just me playing that instrumental at the end, loop that, and solo over it.
There's like a part that I came up with last night that I'm trying to find that was like for...
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
See, and I don't even know if people in the audience can hear the intricacies of what you're doing, because Twitter sucks so bad when it comes to like live music, but there's some really cool stuff you're throwing down.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
So some sour notes in there, couple.
Yeah, you got to hit the wrong ones to find the right ones. But like this part just needs like something simple.
Yeah. Hey, just as a side note, just lower that for 1 second. So the fire is continuing to be stoked on all ends. It looks like Keith wants to see me get knocked out, because our buddy Keith Botha, who runs the art department, tweeted out, "Hey, Jake Paul, Bingus is calling you out." So this guy wants to see Jake Paul knock my ass out.
I mean, I'll buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
To that as well.
Man, I need to do some more push-ups. This is not looking good.
Yeah, and then your arm can't hurt you after doing the push-ups.
Why you gotta call me out like that? All right, go back to shredding there.
I gotta find it. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
So I heard a couple of cool things that worked in there. Is there anything that you found that might be worth recording? Nobody can hear you. Oh, yeah, got it.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
Something like that during that part.
And you don't think it should come here or at the musical breakdown at the end? Because to me, it feels a little crowded over the lyrics.
Well, I mean, it's because it's a little loud right now, and then you'd like pan it.
Got it. Okay.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
Yeah, there's definitely one wrong note in there. That one.
Yeah, I keep not doing like a half step instead of a whole step. Because it's all these levels.
Half step up from there.
Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked you. The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever.
Whatever setting you have for the distortion sounds really nice within the context of the rest of the song.
I need these another screen.
The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
Nope.
I thought I went back to I'm looking at the wrong thing.
The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you.
That's why it sucks being your own engineer, man.
The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
Most of that was good, but there was definitely one. That note, yep.
So it's, it can't go. So it has to go there because I was going.
Yeah, that's the wrong note.
It's in the scale.
That's what I was telling you though about those scales that they're not.
It'd be like playing it like this.
Just get rid of it. Throw it in the garbage. I never want to see that note again.
I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up.
Where does it go? You need to go.
The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you.
Can I see it?
The way I did about you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up.
Yes.
I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.
There you go.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you. You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up.
Do you have another phrase you're trying to?
It'll be just be. I think I'll just. It's so hard.
Yeah, what ASAP was saying before is it's hard being your own engineer because he's running the whole board over there while he's trying to play the instrument.
Especially when it's easier if I have two screens.
I've mentioned this before, but if none of you have heard it, you should go listen to Jack Black's Sax Man, because sometimes I feel like that's what we're doing, and you'll have yourself a laugh and you'll see what I'm talking about when you pop that on. I'm not even going to try to mimic it, but it's pretty funny. Check out Jack Black, Sax Man. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to cap it. you'll go ahead and layer that in what you just recorded and mix it, and we'll see what that winds up sounding like. Maybe we'll play that on next show for everyone.
You fucked up.
But if you can go ahead and lower that, I'm going to talk this out.
You fucked up.
Thank you, everyone, for being here with us on this beautiful Saturday. You know, I forgot to do the most important thing, which was set the room, reset the room. So why not do it on the way out like a true professional?
You're good.
No?
Man. You're good.
No? All right. So screw it then. We won't set the room. That's fine. Okay. Well,
we missed that boat.
We missed that boat. It sailed. Okay, it's gone. All right. Well, we appreciate you all for being with us today on this gloomy Saturday in Hollywood. We've had a great time. It's been a lot of fun just BSing, and we appreciate all of you staying with us till the bitter end. Thank you to Ed for hopping up, Lollyhops, Turk, WM, Don Love. It's been a jam-packed show for not having a guest. Like this was pretty good. Feel like we did all right today. So yeah, join us next time. We've got some great guests coming up. Assuming everyone stays healthy and is able to show up, we've got some really cool stuff planned. So tune in next Saturday for actually we're going to be starting earlier next Saturday. Is that right, ASAP? 10 a.m. Yeah, we're going to do 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as opposed to our usual 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to accommodate our guests. So definitely tune in with us next Saturday. You can catch the replay of this show on Twitter as well as on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, where all of our previous episodes live once I get around to editing this episode. Thank you for being with us. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your weekend and a great week, and we will see you next time. Sapo Studios, out.
You fucked up. Karma's a bitch and so are you. You fucked up. I feel bad for whoever winds up with you.